Hi, it's Timur from easypronunciation.com. Welcome to part 2 of this series. In the first part, I explained that when you learn a language, you build a new neural network in your brain. If you know several languages, the neural network for each language is quite independent from one another. The truth is, if you want to progress quickly when you learn a new language, you want to be fully immersed in this language. Just one language, period. You may be thinking, but Timur, how would I understand what is being said? I'm just a beginner. I don't know a single word. And here's where the power of context comes into play. Let's assume you don't speak French. Please watch and listen carefully. Ça, c'est un doigt. Un doigt, deux doigts, trois doigts, quatre doigts. Or in the case of Russian, это карандаш. Это книга. Я беру карандаш. Я кладу карандаш на книгу. In both cases, it was pretty easy to figure out what I was talking about, even if you don't speak this particular language. Why? Because the video you're watching right now provides you with a good context of the usage of the French word doigt and the Russian word карандаш. Good learning materials provide enough context so that you can understand what is being said, even if you hear a new word for the first time.
These are my ears.
By the way, I'm not completely against dictionaries. Dictionaries have their pros. If you have a dictionary, you can understand the meaning of a word even if the context is not detailed enough or is totally missing in the case of isolated words. But is it worth to use dictionaries in the long run? The time required to find a word in a dictionary may be substantial for printed dictionaries, shorter for electronic dictionaries, even shorter if you use browser plugins when you can just hover your mouse over a word to see its definition. But in either case, when you use a dictionary, you disrupt the learning process. You start switching the balls on musical instruments when you don't need to. In other words, you engage the wrong neural network. One useful way to think about words in a language is as trees in a forest. Just like a tree has branches, each word may have several meanings. Some small trees may have only a couple of branches. Some big trees may have hundreds of branches. In this analogy, some rare words may have only one or two meanings. More frequently used words may have dozens of meanings. When you just start learning a new language, each new word is like a gentle young seedling growing in a small garden. Using a bilingual dictionary is like bringing giant trees from the huge forest of your native language into the small garden in hopes that this will help them grow. You need to find a way to help the seedling grow without bringing trees from another forest. And I will talk about how you can do this in a moment. First, I want to remind you of the importance of regular practice. Regular practice is like watering these seedlings every day. You want to be very consistent and patient with your garden so that each seedling will grow into a tree and each tree will grow more and more branches. The official term for this regular practice is spaced repetition. Watering the plants once a week with a huge amount of water is not the same as watering them once a day with the right amount of water. By the same token, you want to dedicate some time to the new language every day, ideally twice a day or more. It may be as short as 5 or 10 minutes at a time, but you need to be very consistent. You may be thinking, well, how about monolingual dictionaries which only use one language to explain the meaning of the words? I think it's still not a very good idea. Let's say you listen to an audiobook or watch a movie in a foreign language. While you do this, you are fully immersed in the context of your book or your movie. And then you see an unknown word. Your first reaction may be, I want to know what it means, I want to know what it means. Yes, you can stop listening or watching and reach for a dictionary, but by doing so, you will break the immersion and interrupt the flow of the learning process. I suggest you just listen or watch further. You will get a fuller picture. The context for each word is defined by not only what comes before it, but also what follows it. Chances are, if you listen or watch further, you will be able to figure out the meaning of the word. And if you can't figure out the meaning of a particular word in a given situation, it can mean one of the two things. 1. The word is rarely used and you can happily ignore it. 2. The word is frequently used, but the context was not good enough for you to understand its meaning. Oh no! Look at the progress bar! The video is almost over! I don't have time to tell you what exactly you can do to quickly learn a new language. See you in the next and final part. Thanks for watching.